towards efficient network topologies. Beaconing, regardless of reward structures, allows the elimination of multi-hop proof of coverage. Large payload sizes that are atypically for many LoRa applications and require higher data rates, etc. A lot of implementation complexities is removed with beaconing, and those CPU and ledger resources can be reallocated to more beneficial purposes. Detailed explanation. Beaconing behaves a lot like a single hop of POC, but there is no intended target. I assume each active hotspot will be targeted uniformly randomly, so on average each hotspot will be challenged the same number of times. To determine the rewards given for a beacon, first define a term reward unit. A reward unit is not a defined amount of HNT, but a slice of the available POC rewards for each epoch. So, for example, if there are 1000 HNT to be rewarded for POC activity and there are 100 reward units from all POC activity, each reward unit will get 10 HNT. If there are 5,000 reward units in an epoch, each unit will get 0.2 HNT. So let's go down just a little bit more. W stands for the number of witnesses, N is the desired redundancy, N plus 1, hotspots cover an area, R is the decay rate for additional transmitter rewards. Yes, this is crazy formulas. You're like, what WTF? So here's an example reward distribution when it comes to witnessing. The following tables list the reward distributed to transmitters and witnesses with example chain variables of N equals 4, R 0.8. So as you can see, up to 4 witnesses, 7, 6, and so forth. And when you get up to 15, you can see that it goes down. So even though you're increasing the amount of witnesses, you are not being rewarded the same. So the curve basically begins around 4 witnesses. The witness distance limits. The radius today, 300 meters, sets the minimum distance for valid witnesses. Only witnesses beyond this distance, beyond 300 meters, are counted in the reward formulas. It is left to the implementation whether the challenger should filter out witness receipts that violate this threshold, or allow them to be included in beacon receipts, which may take place of witnesses sufficient distance away. There is no penalty for having nearby witnesses. These can be accounted for an additional proposal method of geographic-based transmit reward scaling. So here's another example. 12 witnesses, reward per witness, 0.26. Total reward, 3.18. Reward transaction issue, 1.83. Total reward issue, 5. And you can see this number increases. Here's an example of the topology. So here's a ring of 5 hotspots. This is 6. Let's go back to that one more time. Okay, let's go down a little bit more. Alright, great. So now I want to go to this chart here. This is the max density per resolution. Right here is the resolution bar, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I like to utilize 7, 8, 9, just to show you a quick example of what I'm talking about. Helium Vision, 7, 8, 9, the resolution. Let's go back to that one more time. Okay, let's go down a little bit more. Alright, great. So now I want to go to this chart here. This is the max density per resolution. Right here is the resolution bar, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I like to utilize 7, 8, 9, just to show you a quick example of what I'm talking about. Helium Vision, 7, 8, 9, the resolution. Each resolution is indicated by these colors, white, pink, and green. So white is the big hex for resolution 7. We got the pink for 8, and then the green for 9. So N is for the siblings or the neighbors. So that is, if we have this hexagon, let's see, here we go. Well, if we have this hexagon, all right, we have neighbors, would be these two, or these two. So that's what the N in neighbors is. Okay. And the other thing So this is just a chart of your reward scales to the topology. So let's just utilize this tool right here. This is Helium Vision. It's a really great tool to help you map out and do a RF simulation. On the left side here is our menu choices. We have the top where you can select where on the map to move things around. R. This is for region, where you can select a location here and get a whole bunch of hotspots, and then you can track all those hotspots within that region. This is the measuring tool, where you can check the distance between hotspots or the distance from your placement to the hotspot that you're trying to connect to. As you can see, we have 2.5 kilometers here and some other information. I believe it's longitude and latitude. This circle here is for placement. This is what you use to actually place where you want to put a hotspot. So we already have this placement set up, and it's in 8, 9, the resolution. Each resolution is indicated by these colors, white, pink, and green. So white is the big hex for resolution 7. We got the pink for 8, and then the green for 9. So N is for the siblings or the neighbors. So that is, if we have this hexagon, let's see, here we go. Well, if we have this hexagon, all right, we have neighbors would be these two or these two. So that's what the N in neighbors is for. Okay, and the other thing, so this is for region, where you can select a location here and get a whole bunch of hotspots, and then you can track all those hotspots within that region. This is the measuring tool, where you can check the distance between hotspots or the distance from your placement to the hotspot that you're trying to connect to. As you can see, we have 2.5 kilometers here. Hotspots within this section. You want to be outside, starting here. It's like a big donut, and that's the hole. You don't want to be inside the hole of the donut. You want to be on the donut itself. So this is the donut, and now let's measure this donut. I keep saying donut. This edge from here to here. So it looks like we got 1.2 kilometers roughly from here to here, and that's also so from the center to this to out is 1.45 kilometers, 1.5, and that's the radius that we have selected in right here on the right. This is the map style. You can change the different types of maps. I don't really want to do that right now, but if you want to change the color, the type of map, terrains and stuff, you can change that here. This is layers. This is going to be a very important section. This is where you any updates, new features that will be added in the future. You'll see most of those changes in this section here. If I remember correctly, earlier it only went to resolution 6, so they added 4 and 5. This is a very important tool to use. Like I said before, this is equal to the hexagon. So resolution 7, I have it as white, and you can also change the color of it. I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now, but you can change the color if you don't like your outline color. I was thinking about maybe a cool tool, maybe if you can make this line a little bit thicker, maybe have a setting to add a bold. That might be beneficial. So here we have our layers. When you click on it and the eye with the line through it is there, it will take it away. Now, if you want to add it back in your vision to see it on the map, you go ahead and click. But some suburbs have certain apartment buildings have concrete buildings, brick buildings around them. So that's the way I like to look at this. So what type of infrastructure around you or that will cause blockage to the radio frequency? Suburbs, the mixed material, I believe, is around like the wood, plastic, from single family homes, townhomes type houses, and then organic farmland, so trees, and hills, mountains, things like that. So we're gonna go ahead and click suburban for mix and generate RF simulation. So this will start to populate the information that we've inputted. It's looking at the location on the map, and it's going to give us an estimated, basically a simulation of what we think the RF frequency range will be off of this placement. All right, so green is good. That's where you want to be. That's showing potentially a good connection. Anything in the blue, you may run into some issues. So, and you have two shades of green here, so the darker is better, and lighter, it starts to degrade a little bit. So another thing here, you can also, what I like to do is take the measurement tool, and then I'll go for my placement into one of the green area hotspots to check out the kilometers, the distance between, and then it's just showing that I should have, some decent connection, potentially, I believe, because of this. Hey, welcome back, sorry about that. So I believe with this reward scale, we can go ahead and change, actually, let's go ahead and remove this reward scale because that's messing up with this color. So here, that's a little bit better. So now I know that, okay, that it's still greenish over there. This distance is going to be maybe, I guess you can put it around this location, maybe this between these minus 70 to minus. Yeah, so this is really great tool. This also tells me that when I get to this distance over here, I wouldn't even really look at this section. I would probably stop around right here. I know that I may run into some issues. I might have a good connection here, should be, but it might be, this one looks like line of sight may be okay, should be okay. We'll see. This is a simulation, so we still need to test this to real world data. But honestly, these two are optimal. These two should be good. But as you can see, that I will run into some blockage going in this direction over here. So if the terrain does change, and over here, definitely will run into some blockage. Yeah, so this is the Helium Vision tool. That is an example of generating an RF simulation and how you can use this to help plan out your hotspot placements. And you can go ahead and do this anywhere on the map. You can just go to that location and click on placement, zoom in to wherever you want to try, and let's say, hey, right here, click on the map, allow it to populate, and boom, now we have our grid. So what came up was everything I have selected on the layers. So say I want to remove 7 and 9 and only focus on 8, we can do that as well. Okay. It's always best to try to plan hotspots with just one hotspot in each hexagon, utilizing res 8. However, you can go up to, I believe, the 4 max. Let's double check that. So resolution 8, density target 1, but it does increase to 4. So when does it increase? So if we were to put a hotspot here and a hotspot here off of this one, this hexagon would now be max density 4. But as of right now, it's still max density 1 because there are no neighboring hotspots. There's nothing in the N. The N is 2. All right, so from 7 to 10, the N is 2. And up to 8 is 1. It changes to 5 for density target at resolution 7. So what does that mean? So if I go ahead and click resolution 7 here, so as of right now, density target is 5. All right, so say this was a hotspot, real hotspot online, and we have one hotspot here. All right, it still will be density target 5 in this big hexagon because we need 2 on the neighbors. So we would need one more here, and if we had one more here, this will change to 20. Max density max up to 20 from 5. So, and same for this, because if this had 1 and we had one here, the max density would be 20. But the density target is 5. So it's always good to just start off, as of right now, the network's still growing, we're still building the infrastructure, so it's always just best if you can use resolution 8 in your area and just place them with 1 per hexagon as of right now. Alright, well, I really hope you found this video informative. If you liked this content and you thought what I shared was helpful, do the YouTube thing. Hit that like, subscribe, hit the bell. If you want to know what I want to say, if you want to be alerted. If not, hey, I'm real happy that you actually came and stopped by on my page. I'm just trying to share the knowledge that I'm learning and I'm focusing on every single day. So, yeah, that's it. I'm Simon. This is Cryptechology. Catch you on the next one.